I'm a grown man in my mid-30s, and my mother's fiancé, who is noticeably younger than me, recently insisted that I start calling him Dad, despite the fact that I'm 35. The moment I declined, he got choked up about the importance of fatherhood in his life and fled to stay at his parents' place. To be more precise about the background, I lost my real father when I was 19, which left my mom alone to raise me and my two younger siblings. Being the eldest, I tried to be as supportive as possible, and it took her a while, but eventually she started going out with other men. Even though we're not all living under a single roof, our houses share a fence and a gate, so we see each other often. Sometimes she helps fold my clothes, or I drop by for meals, and we also have a dog that we all take turns looking after. My siblings and I still go over there for dinner roughly every other Friday. Over time, the men she dated started getting younger, but that never particularly bothered me or my siblings. She was honest with us about her dream of finding a new partner and possibly remarrying, so we supported her as best we could. Of course, when she first began bringing home men who were drastically younger, we were caught off guard, but we all adjusted with time. The latest guy in her life, let's call him Phil, is definitely the one she's gotten most serious about. They began going out last June, and he popped the question at the start of autumn. She's hoping to have the wedding next summer. Neither I nor my siblings had any objections to him, because he seemed like a decent person, and it was obvious from how they acted that they were completely head over heels for each other. This weekend, Phil called me up and asked me to drop by their place, presumably for some home project, since they had been fixing the place up. I swung by after work, and the first thing he did was greet me in the driveway, calling me Sport. That's kind of his thing, calling me, my 30-year-old brother, and even my 28-year-old sister by names like Kid, Sport, Scout, Little Buddy, Red, or Blue. He only ever called my sister Princess once, and when she gave him a stone-faced look, he backed off and never tried that again. Phil reminds me a lot of Charlie Day's character in the movie Horrible Bosses, mainly because he's always carried this deep-rooted ambition to settle down, get married, and start a family. At one point, when he shared this dream with my brother and me, my brother teased him, saying something about how our mom might not be able to fulfill his fantasy of having a bunch of little ones. Phil apparently took offense, but they smoothed things over after some back and forth. Anyway, when I arrived the other day, Phil explained my mother wasn't around and that it was just him, and he really wanted a private, man-to-man, conversation. I sat down, and he started telling me how he's always yearned to be a father, to have a son to guide through life. Then he lowered the boom. He said he understood he couldn't replace my biological dad, but asked if I could call him Dad. Initially, I snorted without meaning to, mostly because I assumed it was some joke. The look on his face made it clear he wasn't joking. He seemed like he was on the brink of tears,